Oh, hi, how are you doing? So, yesterday, here's the recount of my fast. So I was cleaning up my kitchen and I was noticing there was some stuff in my kitchen, in my refrigerator, that I didn't want to, that was still fresh, and I wanted to keep it fresh. Mainly some beans and seeds. So, instead of staying with the purely liquid, watery stuff, meaning juice and water, I decided to do a blended soup to get that stuff fresh and to just have my refrigerator and everything I'm doing more oriented towards strictly juice and strictly water. Plus, it's probably good because I had a little bit of an emotional kind of release, um, a bit of like negativity towards the end of the day. Yeah, and that's exactly the stuff that I'm looking for. I'm looking to really dig up some of that stuff. Um, so I had a soup which was like, and it was very probiotic, and it actually changed my the chemistry in my colon, i.e., I freaking loosened up some stuff in there and got rid of that. So the recipe was, or what was in the soup was sprouted buckwheat, sprouted sunflower seeds, um, and then some dressing that I had left in the blender from 2 days. And I often do this, of where I just leave a dressing in the blender um, and sort of let it ferment. Um, just kind of one of my own little twists on things. It's kind of like, winds up being like a seed cheese or something like that in the old style of Hippocrates or whatever. Speaking of Hippocrates, I gotta tell you about an amazing lecture or a interview on the Dr. Mercola channel with Brian Clement. I have been studying a lot of Hippocrates, Brian Clement oriented stuff. The link to that is right there. Um, the Mercola interview, and interestingly, and I am like formulating my ideas. A part of why I am returning back to Sproutarian is to get, first off, I like it, and first off, it's inside me. So, in the sense of like, I always feel an urge like that is like the best food ever, and it's very interesting in my mind. And keep in mind, Dr. Mercola is omnivore oriented, and so I personally am staying solidly vegan because of a few issues of like, I don't want to be involved with killing animals from a spiritual point of view. If I want to be a mystic, so I don't want to be taking on that energy. That's the number one thing for me. Just the speciesism, as the vegans call it. So the interesting thing is I didn't know that Hippocrates was sort of a little bit of the 80-10-10 thing. Not in a fruitarian sense, but of like more carb-oriented, low protein. Since I had my own investigations with paleo and seeing the way that it negatively affected me with taking too much protein. And again, when you're getting too much protein, you get dark circles under your eyes. So Hippocrates is low fat, and so Mercola actually questioned Brian Clement about the higher fat thing, which in the two American worlds of the healers, live food healers, which are Hippocrates and Gabriel Cousins, Gabriel is high fat oriented, and Mercola in this interview also points to eating higher fats, which I intuitively feel is right. And I have to tell you, I made some big bounce backs with fat, and this is again where I'm glad that I went into the paleo work of the book Primal Body, Primal Mind, and loosely studied some of this stuff with nourishing traditions. More into the book Primal Body, Primal Mind. end of where I just believe that the fat-oriented stuff contributes to constituents that have to do with connective tissue, hormones, brain chemistry. Mainly that's it, at least in my experiences, because I had been sort of low fat for a long time, and I noticed as soon as I in 2008, I got, was just experimenting with coconuts, and I loved the way they tasted. I've not really messed around too much with mature coconuts, and I went on this trip of deciding, like, because it seemed like such a cheap food, and it seemed like it added a lot of depth to food, I just randomly started experimenting with telling myself and doing it, of having one mature coconut every day, and things shifted around in me big time. Big time. So I sort of stumbled on that myself, and then later on when I was around Truth Calkins, and I'll get into that later, but just to point you in the direction of that interview, and that one more time, that's here. And it's well worth your time to like look at this. Lots of reasons to get into sproutarianism as the world gets more overpopulated, and as we head towards some kind of economic collapse here. This is a good thing to have on hand and to start getting yourself used to, and you can store piles of this stuff. You know, I basically outlaid $300 to wheatgrasskits.com and nuts.com in March, and all of those supplies just started running out. In fact, a lot of the seeds that I'm doing, the sort of alfalfa, red clover, the jar sprouts, I still have. So anyways, I think it's something that's, I'm telling you, something I think it's well worth getting into. Firstly, for your own health, for your finances, it's cheaper. It's cheaper, you know, and lastly, it's much more sustainable. And I'm going to get into a few things here. Of showing you some of my techniques, and you know, some of the sprouted beans and stuff. They go nicely in soups. So oh, that's it for now. So I just spontaneously did that blog this morning. I don't remember where it was in my day. I'll give you a little bit better recount of what's going on. It's 9:30 at night now. So I pretty much know how today's gonna go. So I started today with just my usual teas, which is the sort of antibacterial, antipathogenic tea, which is black walnut, whole clove, wormwood, boldo, the Vietnamese cinnamon, which I highly recommend that you get that. It's awesome tasting cinnamon. Ginger, Asiac tea, yes, SIAC, and cayenne edition of that. I went back into doing that. And drank some green drink which was parsley and celery, carrot, cucumber, and spinach. I drank a half gallon of that. Two 1-quart jars, or split it up. It was in a half gallon jar. So anyways, I'll tell you about last night. So last night, probably starting just before sunset, I started getting a lot of negativity, started feeling very, very insecure. Just all that stuff coming up. There's been times in my life, cell memory stuff, that's what I'm after. I'm trying to detox. The detoxing, when you detox the body, lots of other detoxing goes on besides the whole physical idea of detoxing, of getting rid of hormones and chemicals and all the yucky stuff on the planet, but also the emotions and mental thoughts, and spiritually, you detox from the lack of spirituality. So what I did was, I knew the best thing for me to do was to, in my living room there, going to be having a camera pretty soon. I get lots of money in like about 10 days and I'm going to have a camera. And these blogs, thank God, will stop being in front of this computer all the time in my studio. And so there'll be some more interesting stuff for you to watch. So you'll see my magical space in my living room with all my crystals and everything. So I just went in there, meditated, and I held this crystal here. This is a crystal I've had for 25 years. It's a beautiful, double terminated, awesome one. And so I don't always use this one. This is by far my favorite crystal I have. And so I just hold this one and usually just breathe. And of course it has this dual energy with it being double terminated. And I started filling with my tarot cards and meditating. And I probably spent a good hour and 20 minutes there. And whoa, what do you know, before you know it, I was feeling much better and went to bed feeling good. And woke up this morning feeling really, really awesome. And in general, oh, and the important thing is last night, my hips went crazy. When I start detoxing with my organs, and usually always when I push this fasting things, I go to a chiropractor once a week, whether I need it or not. I just feel like it's a very necessary thing. I've always done it since I've been around heavy equipment all my life, except for this time in the last 6 or 7 years since I retired from that world. Yeah, I've always, weekly chiropractic has always been a part of my, what I do. So my hips went really weird last night. And as I said, I know that's an association with when I start detoxing, it manifests itself in that way. And so I got a chiropractic adjustment today, which is my normal day for doing that. But aside from all that, I woke up feeling really good, and the spiritual detox is the detoxification of no spirituality, of like not feeling connected. And as I did my meditations today, I felt much more aware of my body, much more subtly aware of where your digestive tract and all your organs are not working, doing all of this constant processing. And so that's the beauty, the spiritual side of fasting, of when you really start connecting. And yeah, I was just very aware of all of that. And so did my magic work I've been doing. Tomorrow, my blog. I have a couple of blogs. I need to get on with what's going on in the whole raw food world, of just a lot of this raw food stuff on YouTube. So I do want to talk about some magic stuff, some ritual magic. I am doing some ritual magic, and this is how it's manifesting right here. This is a stick with a bunch of notes tied onto it, which I'm doing, and I will tell you about this. I'm working on this 2 or 3 times a day, and I will get you tuned into my process of ritual magic, because I've been doing ritual magic as long as I've been into raw food. So I, of course, have my own process of doing that, which I will teach you all about. And let's see, I probably should get on out of here. Just was very subtly aware today. When I went into the chiropractic office, it just immediately was like a little wait time. I started meditating and just being very subtle and aware of sounds all around me, and it's like exactly getting this effect that I want. Right now, I'm still very hyper aware and feeling very cosmically connected. I'm getting that little kind of achy brain from release of more pollutants, and I know in the morning I'm going to wake up feeling really beautiful. So all I had today was that half gallon of juice, a bunch of tea, and here's some right here. Ooh, hot. So I'm going to wake up feeling really awesome. Oh, I got a long letter from my friend in New Zealand of where he was talking about my music and how it doesn't seem like I'm able to sell my music or whatever. I'm trying to do something very artistic with music. Music, the way it's sold, is sold as a commodity, like breakfast cereal. I'm trying to do something very artistic. There's nobody that can manage me. So I'm looking to do something very authentic with music. And so I am having the vision with how I'm going to be doing. I've been doing synthesizer music and working in a progressive style since I was 13 years old, which was 37 years ago, working with synthesizers. And I have always avoided music being done in the standard way, and I cannot be in the normal world. So he was like talking to me about how I say this, support me by supporting my music. And the reason I'm doing that is because this whole thing is a lifestyle. The way I'm doing the music this is a lifestyle thing. It's all incorporated as one big piece of living a magical life. Like, there is no separation from anything that I'm doing. The food, the music, the living, the being compassionate, the connecting in with the politics of being and living on this planet in 2013, all of that, it's all one. And I want to express that as all one, and it is not separate. So support me by supporting my music. There's links in all 4 channels, or 4 corners. You can go on over to, and in the middle here, I'm giving you a link to Second Culture Music. I'm going to be starting getting all that stuff together, and there is going to be a seasonal track coming out. Just starting to work on that, and as blogs come up in future here, you'll be hearing that, and then you'll be able to actually download that for free. It'll be my first free download of my seasonal tracks that I'm doing for the rest of my life. So, bright blessings to you all. This is Keith, Live Rock Star, telling you to get with me. Start the fast now, because it's an awesome time. It's like winter, the full moon's on the 17th. The sun return, winter solstice, is on the 21st. We'll fast, and then we'll start eating again. And then the beginning of 2014, January 1, is new moon. What an awesome time for new beginnings. All right, peace.